How's my hair? Good? Okay. I wanted to talk about forks for a minute. So this video is about changing fork seals, cleaning out the inside of the forks, putting in new fork oil. So for parts, oil, and then the tools, I bought all the tools, about $200 total. Not that bad. It's something that you're going to have to do every once in a while, right? So if you're not going to do it yourself and you're going to pay somebody to do it, think about that. They spend about $200 on parts and tools to fix your forks. When should you change your fork oil? How often should you change your fork oil? The Ducati service book has a mileage, number of years, when you should change your fork oil, that kind of stuff. But, I bought this bike over 2 years ago, and I'm just now rebuilding the forks. And then after rebuilding the forks, I realized I should have rebuilt the forks 2 years ago when I got the bike. Oh, yeah. It handled good, but I was also coming from a 585-pound BMW K1300S. When I'm thinking back, here's the clues. I never really liked the front brakes. The front brakes were always giving me improper feedback. So the way I can describe it is it's almost like a pulse when you're applying the brakes. The faster you're going, the faster the pulse. As the bike slows down, the pulse slows down, but it also increases in intensity. And then at the very end, when there was fluid leaking out and I was braking, when I would come up to a red light or a stop sign, the bike would physically be bouncing up and down like this in the front. And that's not going fast. I mean, that's approaching a red light, applying the brakes, the bike wobbled like this, and then the slower I got, the more up and down pogo sticky the front was. And so your first thought is rotor problem, brake pad problem, not a fork problem. After I rebuilt the forks, brakes are perfect. Smooth, steady, even application, no problems whatsoever. I got an idea after thinking about it, and I didn't think about it in time, but since my bench is so high and I was a little off balance trying to compress that spring down to get the plate on to hold it. Get a strap, put the hooks over the end of the tool, make a loop long enough where you can push it down with your foot and then slide your part in. I thought about that afterwards because I was struggling on some of that. I'm not going to discuss a lot of the technical stuff because there's other avenues for that. So Brad, the bike boy, Brad Black, he's down in Australia. His video is the one I watch to do this video. So I watch Brad Black's video on rebuilding the forks, and then I rebuild the forks and I show it to you. So his video is a lot more technical. His video is also why I'm using the 2.5 weight oil. He says that the lighter weight oil flows better through these shocks, and my first impression is, yes, he's correct. It does. My preload, so you can see where I'm ending up here with my preload. So I still have about 1.5 inches to give. So I back the preload out another half a turn. I'm going to test it out. And then as far as dampening and rebound clicks, I think I'm like 10 on the top and 8 on the bottom. It feels really nice, but I'm going to play with it a little bit more. These Texas roads are a little unforgiving as far as, ruts, potholes, missing pieces of pavement, So your suspension's going to get a workout, but not the kind you want. The next test will probably be in the spring sometime when I take the bike up to Eureka Springs or maybe back out to Georgia, where I can get on some nice smooth roads and get a better feel for how. Let's break it down again. If you don't know when the last time the forks were serviced, it's probably time to service the forks. If you've never serviced the forks on a used motorcycle, you should probably service the forks. It's not that hard. It's just a little difficult. And then I'm going to say it again, and I'll cover it later. The fork seal, this part, the flat side is dry. The side with the lip is wet. There's no reason to think you have to put the seal in upside down. I mean, if you took the seal and turned it over to where it faced the same side as like a traditional fork, the flat side would still be dry and the side with the lip would still be wet. So don't put them in upside down. Okay, and then let's get started. On this episode, we are going to be changing fork seals. Remove, disassemble, clean, evaluate, rebuild with new seals. So if you look over here, this is just normal from riding around for a week up in the Ozarks. If you look over here, it's covered in goop and it's streaked all down the sides and it's on the wheel. You can see it right here, shiny stuff, and then all of this. And then like every forward facing thing is just covered. So I noticed it on my last ride of the day, which was only the last ride of the day because I discovered the fork seal leaking. You never have the last ride, you just have another ride. So I was on another ride and then the fork seal was leaking. And so then let's back up. I figured it would last for a week, a couple 100 miles a day. As long as you take it easy on the straights, you're not powering out the torque, it doesn't tear up the center. Most of what we were doing was on the sides anyway. So it made it to the last day of riding, and then I was at my halfway point and I could decide to turn back or add a couple more hours to it. And so I did the wise thing this time. I turned around and went back. It's only a bad idea if it goes flat. As long as it stays inflated, it was a great idea. So I got all the life I wanted out of this tire. It's got to come off, the front's got to come off. And then on the last section, when I was heading back, Highway 21, in between Deer and Kingston, they've been working on that road for a while and they almost had it fixed, but then something happened to it and it's got like a pothole this big on the outer lane side, the yellow line, the white line side, and I didn't see it in time and it damn near bucked me off. That may have blown the seal because I didn't notice it until I got back at the end of the ride. There was schmutz everywhere. And you know, I'm kind of a clean freak anyway, so I'm always wiping this down. Even though it's on the kickstand side, I'm still wiping it down, so I would have seen all of this goop. But anyway, it's an opportunity, right? Every time you take it out, it's an opportunity to do something. I had some of the best riding ever on the roads on roads that I've already been on, but it was just, you know how sometimes you get in the zone and it just flows. Never had to touch the brake in a curve. Was maintaining my speeds through the apex. It was gorgeous. I hated to quit, but now when I go back, I'll pick it up hopefully at the same level I left it off. So yes, you can roll the bike on backwards. Be careful. It's a big hump and it wants to tump. Fortunately, it's light. And then, strap it down so that it doesn't slide off. It's in the cradle, but, it's designed for the front tire mostly. But it works. So I got to strip everything off the front. Got to jack it up, get the wheel off, tubes out. That means we have to take handlebars off. Probably going to disassemble handlebars and powder coat them because, why not? Yes, I'm still working on the truck. The steering wheel's just sitting on there. This is so I don't bump my head on the stalks. Believe it or not, it hurts. So I got my brake pedal in. I trimmed it up about 2 inches. Gas pedal's in. Yesterday was get all the steering linkages in and bolted together. So we have steering, we have brakes, we have go juice, we have electricity. We are getting closer. There's still a lot to do, don't get me wrong. But what keeps me up at night, what keeps me from having a restful sleep is me thinking about this leak on this fork. So, it's been 4 days since I broke it. I did work on the truck yesterday. So, I'm taking a break from the truck. I want to be able to sleep, so we're going to get started. I've already ordered parts. They're on their way, but I want to take the forks apart to make sure the bushes are all right. So if I have to order those, I can get them, and then anything else that may need to be purchased for reassembly, so I can just knock it all out. So I've never done this before on this bike. I have done fork seals on other bikes. They're all basically the same, so to speak, but Ducatis are always a little different. These are the Showa forks. So they have stanchions, the legs, and then this collar piece is removable. These are dual adjustable. They got dampening and rebound. So, there's some things we're going to have to... And I don't know anything about what's inside them. I haven't serviced them since I got the motorcycle. And everything's been drilled for track racing, so maybe they're upgraded. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. So first, all the plastic comes off. I still can't find my Park Tri-Y. This is the one I made because once you have a tool, you just want to have it. It's October the 13th, and it's currently 88 degrees in the shop with no AC. The good thing about Eureka was mid-70s during the day, low 60s, high 50s at night. The weather was gorgeous. Sprinkled for like 5 minutes one day. First camera overheat of the day. So I got this ATV jack thingamajig, motorcycle jack, whatever you want to call it, and some 4x4 blocks under the motor, and then jacked it up. And we're rolling. This wheel has balancing beads instead of stick-on weights. So when we take the tire off, we'll pull those out and we'll put them in the new tire. But we got to measure them first. I think it's a little heavy. So when we're going to take the wheel off, we're going to leave this side tight for now because this is what holds this bush. We'll loosen this, spin it out, drop it, and then we can loosen those. These two for the handlebar, the big one up here, and then this will slide down. This is going to drop, so trying to let it smash your tank. And we should probably take a measurement just so we know where the handlebar is going to go back up to. And that's if you want to put it back the way you had it. This button interferes with the fairing when you go full tilt. So you could drop it down a little lower and maybe get some more space. Or if your back hurts, you could raise it up another 5 mils. You get the idea. The fork legs are sticking up 16 mils. That lowers the front of the bike without affecting the preload. Hold on. So hose them down with WD-40 to get the bugs off. And then you can get this at the dollar store, the Dollar General, the Dollar Tree, the dollar. And then you use that to cut the grease. And then they're not greasy anymore. I mean, you can also use wax and grease remover, but $1, $30 for this, for what we're doing right now, it's fine. So there's oil in here because it's leaking out the bottom, right? So when we take this loose, there's going to be oil. And I'm going to save some of it so we can look at it. Adjuster, this is preload, and this big one is what unscrews this. I don't have the taker aparter, but I can still get the oil out. How's that? Come on. Stop. Fucker. And it shouldn't be that tight. See, it's not that tight. Because it has an oil seal in it. None of this is going to disintegrate when you pull this leg down. Oil seal is what keeps it together. It screws together here. It's not that bad. The fork oil doesn't, well, I don't know. But what we can do is we can pour it out. For now, you need a special tool. There's a tool that goes right here. You push this down so you can get to the nuts there. We'll do that later. Let's just take a look at the fork. Oil, don't do that. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but I can't move right now. I'm spilling fork oil everywhere. So here's what came out of it. Is it supposed to be clear? Not really. It doesn't smell too bad. It smells like hydraulic fluid. But if, you know, there's junk, it's going to be down here. So we're going to take them completely apart to get to that. But for now, that's all we're going to do. I'm going to go eat some dinner. I feel a little bit better now because I started taking this apart. So now it's not any fluid in it. It's just full of air. And it's not going to move very much. I have parts arriving tomorrow, which is Wednesday. I have more arriving Thursday. So we should have these completely apart by Friday. And then clean them, put it back together. Put it back in the bike. And then I gotta clean that bike. There's a lot to clean. Oh, and change tires. I got a lot to do. Okay. We'll call this the end for now. I don't know if it's going to be the end of this video. So I'm trying to give you all as much viewing space as possible. So I took them apart and let them drain for a couple of days while I was waiting on parts. This is just a placeholder. So I was making some posts online about the tools, which are over there. We'll bring those out later. And then I was waiting on seals, but as soon as I hit the go button, they got here. I took them apart. They're soaking in some oil over there. I bought factory parts from CMS online, had them delivered. So the only thing I did was clean the forks, the outers. Nothing wrong with the outer portion. They're anodized, they're a little sun faded, but that's normal. The lowers look good. The coating's a little dull, but that's okay. So they're marked left and right. The internals really don't matter, but the lowers do. So these are forks of unknown internals and unknown service history. And I've been running them for a couple of years. They're great. They work fine. But we're going to take them apart. I'm going to take the inners out. Everything's coming apart. We're going to clean it, inspect it, and then put it all back together and then ride it like we stole it. I'm probably not going to go over the hydraulic operation of the fork process in detail. If you're looking for that kind of information, go to Brad the Bike Boy, Brad Black. He's down in Australia. He has great videos. Great videos. I watch Brad Black's videos and then I come and do it myself and then I make a video for y'all. So I'm piggybacking off of Brad Black, who is the Ducati master. That's what I say. Some people like other people, that's fine too. But for stuff like this, Brad Black's my guy. 14 millimeter, 17 millimeter. The big top is 32 millimeter. First, we want to adjust this out and make sure it's on the clicks, not in between the clicks. Let's just say I've done this the hard way without the proper tools. This time I have the proper tools. It should go easier. Some of these come with a cut in them, so you can just fit them over. This one's going to slide over the top. This bench is kind of tall, so it just goes like this, and then these screw into these holes in this fork tube. Whoa! Something like that. And that way you can go like this and push it down. And then what you have to do is push this down. You're coordinating with me again. Get your hands ready. Get your body ready. And slide this on. Like that. And now we can take this loose. Somebody scratched it. It means somebody's been in here before. It's probably a good thing. Try not to gouge up your pins. It will push up a little bit. And it's easier. You go like this. More on. There we go. Probably gonna pop off here. Ah! Like that. Don't lose it. Sorry. So here's our nut, our washer, our bush. We can pull out the tube. There's another bush down here. We can take this off. And then, if we wanted to, which we do, we can just take this off. First, we're going to pop out this dust seal. This is just a sharp edge piece of plastic. Dust seal pops out. And then there's a clip in here. Seal. This part, this sleeve is held onto this tube with a oil seal, O-ring, and a clip. Is it possible to knock it off by accident? Probably not. If it did, then your fork would come out when you went up. So hold it here and then pop it. And so here's our oil seal, and then our washer, and then this is the bush. This bush goes down in there, this bush stays up here. Check for cracks, breaks, scoring. It's just a little dirty, we'll clean it up. So this one has a Teflon coating on it. This one may have it on the inside. But to get these off, you just kind of prime apart and slip them out. If you're in a hurry, you don't really need to do this part. So if all the Teflon is wore off, do you need to replace it? Not really, but I mean, you got them apart, you might as well. These are fine. So the Teflon coating on the inside still looks good enough. And then we can slide all of our seals and bushes off. So this dust seal has a crack in it. It's not that big a deal. So there's some scoring on the front side, but I don't feel any ridges. So this is going up like that, and it's continuous. It was rubbing right there. So this bush, not this, yeah, this bush. So this bush is spending most of its time, you know, doing this, and the force is rubbing on that part and discoloring it. We can smooth it up a little bit, maybe with some 5000 grit sandpaper or something like that. If it's too bad, you can get it re-chromed. You can see where they chromed it. They just, you know, they just dunked it in there. And then this tool is for picking up the tube. God damn it. So to get this out, we have to take it out from the bottom. And it's not necessary. We could put the fork seals on right now and go. But, like I said, fork of unknown everything. And then we have to take out this adjuster. This tool drop day. Just has a little O-ring in there, and then this is the spring, and so this adjuster pushes this spring out. If it's in between clicks, you'll destroy the spring taking it off. And then up in here is an 8mm Allen. This one is not going to fit. You need a longer one, but at your local Harbor Freight. So sometimes these are a pain to get off. Ugga Dugga is your friend. So it's like a big banjo bolt. And now the internals will come out. And then there's a cap in here. And it goes on like this. And so there's a little bit of sludge, but not a lot. It'd probably clean off. This part is supposed to stay on there, go like this. This is a dampener. It's held in with some clips. So the spring looks like it's progressive because the windings get tighter. So the more it compresses, the stiffer it gets. Not too gooey in there, which is surprising, but also kind of cool. So if you fill it up with cleaning fluid, it's going to drip out the bottom. You can put your finger over the hole, but it's going to drip out of here, so you got to have 2 plug holes. And then you can pour some thinner or something like that in there, shake it around, pour it out, clean it out. .40 steel wheels is to make sure there's no bug guts or anything like that on there. This is a 5000 grit sandpaper. So this will fit into this for cleaning purposes. So this is like a paint thinner, varnish. You could use diesel, you know, whatever. And then you're just gonna go like this. It pops out the top. Don't get it in your face. Ah! I'm gonna let it soak for a bit. Over there, out of my way. And then you really don't have to take the O-rings off, but you know, I mean, this is your preload, and see these, the whole mechanism rests on these 3 rods. See how far up they go? So then if you tighten it down, they don't go up as far. So the further down you push it, the further down it pushes on the fork and raises up the bike, the preload. So we'll start off with it in its down position. Drop it in here. Actually, we'll click it up a little bit. Click it up 5 turns. Ah! Ah! Put it in here. So I'm plugging the holes at the bottom with my hand. This is the plastic bag that the seals came in. You're going to thread it over like that. And then you're going to grab it like this. Pinch it like that. Oh shit. It's going to make a mess. So everything has been disassembled, cleaned, and now it's time to put it all back together. So there is a crush washer on the bottom of this that this hits up against. And it didn't fall out, so you can pick it out and replace it. Don't forget your cap. Your cap goes on the bottom of this. And then this is going to go into the shock. Fork tube base. And then you have to pick up to get it. Sometimes they get a little twisty. Sometimes not. If it's dry, it'll torque up easier. And I just turned it up, so now there's probably oil down there, but we'll see. So this is a rubber, and then this is a holder. About 22 foot-pounds. So some things we could do right now are put this adjuster back in. I want to snug it till it's up and down because then it looks better. So this is so I can pump fluid. What we can do now is put these parts back on. So they make these doomajigs that go over this. So when you slide your seals on, down like that. And then we want to put on our dust seal. And then we put on our clip. And then for this thing, this little spring is facing down, and then this seal is facing up. Our big bush. And then our little bush. So this is a seal driver. Fits together like so. So it's started. But it's not in there enough. Still not in there enough. Okay. So the spring clip is in there and seated in the groove, and that's how far in the seal needs to go. And so then next is the dust boot. The dust boot just goes on like that. And then you just give it a squish. You just give it a squish like that. And you can see that, you know, we're scraping oil down. So now it's time to add oil. We're going to pump this up. So you pull the tube all the way up and then pump it. Otherwise it's going to spray on you. And what we're doing is we're getting the oil inside the cartridge, making sure that there's oil inside the cartridge. And then we need to check our oil level. So there's nothing in here except for the cartridge and the oil. And that's what this thing is for. So it has numbers on it. 0 to 10. We're at 135. Actually, that's 130. We'll go to 135. And check the oil level. You don't really have to put it all the way through the middle. There's going to be a complication later. This thing, I don't like it at all. So you put this in here. This is all the way down. Put this in here and see. Do you got oil? Nothing. So we need to add some more fluid. There was a bunch of spillage. So that's about 500 mils plus this minus this spillage. We're pulling fluid out. And so we're at 135. Get this out of the way. Okay. So we've measured our oil level. Now we can put the spring in. Spring goes, the skinny end goes up. At least that's what the book says. And then we need our puller outer back on there. And then I'm going to go down because that is too tall for me. I need a... Stop spilling. You can go like this. You ass. Pull that all the way up. And then I want to put on my tube. Yes. Then my washer. And then the holder tool. So push this down. Push this down. Now this is gonna drop, and my hand's in the way. Like this. Got it. So we need to do some adjusting here. This needs to come. Okay, here we go. So this wants to drop down every time. I got to push this down, push this in, hold this up. The teeth was not a good idea. That hurt. So push down. Push down, push down, hold that, pull this up, slide this in, come on, Ah. Almost got it. Just a little bit of a drip. Ah. I'm probably going to add like 5 mils for spillage. Oh, sorry. Take this off. Sorry. Take this off. Put this on. Oh, I need this. Okay. And then put it back in the vise. A 14 and a 17 spanner. Tighten this down. And then we can pull this and push this out. And then get everything lined up without breaking it. So now all we have to do is, sorry, pick this back up and then screw it back on. So, no more leaks. We got to do some preload stuff. But that's in just a second. So let's bounce it. See what it feels like. And then what we'll do is, because I liked the way they were before, and I probably should have wrote that down at the beginning in my book. First, I'm going to wind it in and count the rounds. So we start here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 3.5. So wind this in. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 and a half. I'm gonna go out and count the clicks from out. 8. It's probably not enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm gonna go with 12. And then on the other one, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 8. So we take it all the way out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See what it feels like. That's better. So that's 9. Double check. Yep. Try again. That feels good. Sorry, the bench is kind of a mess. So next is put our bush. So this would be the old front side. It's really dark. Is it just me? No, it's kind of dark. So this would be the old front side. And so what I did was spin it around to the back. And we can chew up this other pretty side for later. So I still got one more to do. I'll take care of that tomorrow. I might run some video. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.